Well, hey, Happy New Year! We're out in the garage on New Year's Eve, and we got some stuff going on. Getting into trouble again with our suspension here. Something's missing. Anyway, we're doing some suspension stuff, but we'll do another video. We're still putting that video together. But first things first, I got a manifold a buddy wants me to sandblast, and I haven't set my sandblast cabinet up to use yet. So I went and bought some blast media, and I think it's time we get this thing ready to rock and roll and do a little sandblasting. Alright, so what we got here is a cabinet. Now it's been, had this extension put on the end of it so that I could put in longer parts. I didn't do that. I can't take credit for it. I bought it that way. It's got a floodlight mounted in it. I think that's the way these come. It's a blast cat. Here you go. Dry blast system. But the previous owner did a couple of cool things to it. He built this little box up here on top of this other box he built as an extension, and he had this squirrel cage mounted to it right there. And that was just running, he had it running out the wall. He had this up against the wall and just had a hole cut in the wall, and it was just blowing out of that. Now what I've done, this may be hard to see, I've moved it over here to get it down a little lower and a little farther away, and also to give me more real estate, because where I had this at my old house, I didn't have enough room on top because it had a low hanging like awning over it. So I moved it over here, and I put on this dryer vent hose, and I'm running that into a 5-gallon bucket filled with polyfill, which is the stuff they use for stuffed animals and whatnot. And I've just, for now, I've just covered up this hole with my replacement lenses. These are the glass pieces that go here. So I got replacements there, and I'm just using that to plug the hole. So there's the old hole up top. Wow, sorry, that light, I can't quite, I'm gonna lean in a little farther. There we go. There's the old hole. There's the new one. And so yeah, that should evacuate the dust good enough, I hope. We'll see. But for now, what I gotta do is I gotta get in here, I gotta get all this old crappy sand out. This stuff is trash, literal trash. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, gonna get all that out of there. Vacuum it out real good, and then I'll be putting my new, I'm gonna start with the glass, but put the new media in here. Check the gloves, make sure nothing was living in them. So yeah, there's a drain down there and some pans, so let's get that done. The fan's not going. Alright, so we got it pretty well cleaned out. So I haven't cleaned this thing since I moved, and it was sitting outside for a while before I moved, so it's freaking nasty, man. Oh, look at that, it's got a blue stripe on it. I could blow this all off of there, but then this crap would be all over my shop. That sounds good. Oops. Yeah. There's a film of something nasty on there. Let me get a razor blade and see if we can scrape this thing. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm too cheap to spend $4 on that piece of glass. So we're gonna clean this up. Holy crap, I might be able to actually see what I'm blasting. Alright, gloves are in. Need to vacuum that glove out real quick. Alright, so let's get this camera off the tripod for a second. Alright, so I got two kinds of blast media here. I've got crushed glass and I've got coal slag, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, coal slag. Northern Tool, these are about 12 bucks a piece. They're actually on sale now for less than $9 a piece. They're $50 everywhere else. So I got 4 bags for the price of one. Now, this is cast iron and this is aluminum. The coal slag would work fine on cast iron, but I think it's going to destroy the aluminum. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the glass beads and see how that works on the aluminum. And then I'm sure it'll be fine. And then I will see if it will clean up this cast iron or not. If it cleans up the cast iron, then I'm just going to leave the glass beads in there. Because like I said, we're doing some suspension work, and there's a pretty good chance, once I know my cabinet's working properly, there's a really good chance I'm going to want to start taking components off of this truck, blasting them and repainting or coating them or whatever. I'm going to wear a mask for this operation. I'm going to pour that crushed glass in here. You don't want to be breathing crushed glass, I suspect, and it makes a lot of dust. So I'm going to put on my little trusty anti-dusty breather majig, whatever this thing's called. And let's get this stuff poured in there. Just like the parts you use it on, you'll never get it all out. We're going to give this a couple of minutes for all that glass to settle. There's still a little dust floating around in here. That fan apparently isn't quite enough to keep up. I never knew that before because I didn't have enough air pressure with my old system to really use it well, so it took forever to do anything and it never really worked. But it looks like we're getting pretty good results. I just did literally that minute you saw me standing there. I'll pull that manifold out and we'll take a peek at what it's doing so far before I try to do the whole dang thing. At any rate, this is all just trial and error to get this thing up and running. Alright, I should totally be wearing my mask to do this, but I want you guys to be able to hear me. So let's see how this did. Another thing too is I'm going to want to get all this silicone and stuff off here first, otherwise it'll get in the sand and start gumming up the gun. It's actually coming out pretty good. Yeah, it's got a layer of dust all over the whole thing now, but the whole thing looked like the inside of it, so it's coming along nicely. It's not terrible, so we'll go ahead and keep doing it. Still makes it look basically like a cast finish, so should be fine. But first I'm going to scrape all that stuff off, maybe pop some of these fittings out of the thing. Alright, so I'm going to take these out. Now this is steel going, well this looks like it might be brass going into aluminum. This is probably steel going into aluminum. So they have a way of stripping threads. As a matter of fact, I was just watching a video the other day of a guy who stripped the threads trying to get a water neck out because the steel bolts weld themselves into the aluminum. What happens is the two different metals, because they're a different kind of metal, they experience, I think it's called electrolysis, kind of the similar thing they use for plating. And what it does is it kind of transfers some electrons from one to the other, I think is how that works, and they end up basically welding together with corrosion. So a couple things I've learned over the years that help a lot. First and foremost, give it a couple of good smacks. What that does is it can break up that connection between these two parts. So usually that's enough. We'll find out in a second. I'm going to go over here to my hammer drawer and I'm going to get a nice big dead blow hammer. called a dead blow for those who don't know because it's filled with steel shot. It's hollow inside. It's full of steel shot, so when it hits, it stays. It doesn't want to bounce back because all that lead shot's coming down against it as it hits, and then all the lead shot hits also. It's not really hitting twice, but what it does is it makes it hit and keep pushing as opposed to hitting and bouncing off. And let's see if this comes off easy or not. Yep, it's moving. My table's not happy about it. There we go. Now I want to get these out because even though whoever uses it could probably use that fitting, I'll just do this separately because I want to be able to get down in every nook and cranny. I don't want to leave any dirty spots in this thing. That's weird. It should be the same. How much do I bet that's metric? That's no tighter. Okay, it's just kind of one of those fittings that doesn't fit well to any wrench. All right, we'll do something different. I can guarantee you this is an imported fitting from a cheap gauge. And that's why it doesn't fit a standard wrench size. A lot of that imported stuff is just garbage. Not all of it, but a lot of it. I know this isn't the proper way to use this tool, but that's how I'm going to use it. There we go. Okay, hopefully that turned. Now that it's loose, I should be able to just use this. Yeah, there we go. That is also brass, but that's garbage because this was just a mechanical probe, so it's been cut off. So this is garbage, going right in the middle bin. Alright, like I said, I was going to clean all this off. Now, I razor bladed most of it off, but I didn't scrape it off. And that's because the steel that the razor blade is made out of is actually a harder material. It's stronger than the aluminum this manifold's made out of. So anytime you're trying to scrape gaskets off of aluminum components, if you're using a razor blade, you're messing up, honestly. You're going to end up gouging the metal, you're going to end up putting scrapes and scratches in it, and then later on you're going to be chasing little oil leaks and whatnot. Alright, that's probably tight enough to not leak. Let's find out, shall we? Let's go for it. Alright, there we go. Alright, now something I didn't mention yet, and I'm going to show you if I came across it. You have to remove all this silicone before you put it in the sandblaster. What happens is the sandblaster will take the silicone off. So what happens is the metal around the silicone is getting blasted and getting lower and lower and lower. More and more of the surface is getting removed while the metal under the silicone is not. And then once all the silicone's gone, what you end up with is like a wart on the metal where the metal under the silicone is higher than the metal around it. So you definitely want to get things like silicone off of anything before you sandblast it. Alright, looks like all is silicone. Let's go choke on glass fumes. Hey, welcome to 2022. I'm not sure why I'm welcoming you into a place I just got to myself, but maybe I think I work for the airlines. I haven't done anything since a couple of weeks back. Kind of took some time off during the holidays. We had a lot going on. Here's some of the stuff we did. First thing we did was we made a lot of fun of the dog. to over to Smoky Stadium or something like that and saw the Shadrach Christmas lights show. That was pretty mind-blowing, honestly. This is nutty. It's not gonna look anything. It's gonna look like nothing on video, but that is pretty impressive. Oh, we're about to drive down through there.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I see what's going on. Holy shit.
Ho, ho, this is DJ Praise Z, and I want to know who's excited for Christmas? Let's go. Take a step to the left and a step to the right. Everybody just Christmas dance. Let me see you dance. Christmas dance. Everybody just Christmas dance. Let me see you dance. Crazy Christmas dance.
Oh shit, that tree looked amazing.
Tell me what do you got to lose? So shake your head to your toes from your knees.
Alright, so it's been a few days since we did the sandblasting. Let's go check on that manifold and see how it turned out. Anyway, here's our manifold. I couldn't see what was going on. Let's see what it looks like, shall we? Alright, so much better. There's still a few spots I kind of sort of missed, like right in there and there, but like I said, I got a lighting issue. I need to get inside the ports better. That one's clean all the way through. A lot of these are clean all the way through, but I got to go through and get wherever I missed that. I missed a little bit right there and in there. Definitely missed some stuff in these ports. Definitely need some more blasting through this area. There was some pretty bad pitting going on there. The will smooth out with repeated blasting, but I gotta be careful. I don't want to damage anything. Definitely needs a lot more work in here. Couldn't really see what I was doing there. So yeah, that came out all right. So I have I'm sure I'll have no problems whatsoever using it on this cast iron manifold. Now, there's lots of other ways you can clean an intake manifold, but I have a blast cabinet and I wanted to use it to make sure it was working right. It's not. I got to do a little better job of dust collection right now. I ended up sticking the shop vac into the air intake, and I had both fans going, and that worked much better. But the real problem I'm having is this stupid light up there is in the wrong spot. So it's everything I'm trying to work on is backlit. I'm looking this direction, and it's being lit from over here. I think what would work best is if I could get some LED strips and just line the inside of this thing all the way around. That would probably give me the best results as far as lighting goes. And I have my little hoe. Yeah, she's a little hoe. I've got this so that I can do this, which is recover my sand that ends up in that side of the cabinet. I'm just kidding. But you notice this turned white from blasting, so this is leaking. Not a surprise there. You can see all this that leaked out of it. Along here, big pile there in the ends. Bunch we got down there. Alright, so we got the sandblaster working. Like I said, I got to fix a few things inside of this cabinet to make it more usable, but I can at least get something done if I have to. So that's good news, because we may be taking a little less tin apart here pretty soon. And if I'm going to take things apart, I don't want to put them back on rusty or crappy. I want to refinish them and then put them back on. So we may go through the whole engine compartment. We may go through the whole engine. I'm in the middle of having the suspension blown out of it and working on that episode. I'm also working on another episode that you may have seen already or not. I don't know, where I'm looking at potential wheel options. I'm going to have to do something about the clear coat. I'm going to have to, I don't have to do anything about the interior. It's kind of survivor status at the moment. It's not terrible, but I would like to do something about the interior. And I got something I think I want to do to the hood to make that open different than normal. And that's about it, I suppose. So anyway, hey, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. We just hit 700 subscribers. So you guys did that, obviously. You're the ones that have to hit the subscribe button. So thanks a whole bunch for that. I really appreciate it. We've been kind of going on this channel for about 2 years with a couple of breaks for COVID and moving and holidays recently. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of the channels who have helped us out over the last 2 years. We've got 3 channels that have talked about our channel, and I've gotten subscribers coming over from them, and I appreciate the viewers that are here because of those guys. That would be ScrapingPavement channel, that's the name of his channel. It would be Hardcore Garage, that's the name of that channel, and Wrong Way Garage. So those 3 channels have been good to me. I appreciate you guys as well. And I especially appreciate all you subscribers and people viewing the video. Please, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share, because that helps a lot. And I'm looking forward to a good 2022. Until the next video, I guess, thanks a bunch, and we'll see you next time. Take care of yourself.